Hello, Goosebumps and Goosebump heads. Welcome to my review for Stay Out of the Basement. I don't know why I said it so. It's more like this. Stay out of the basement! Also, I'm not wearing this for the rest of the review. One, I'm not much of a hat person. If I'm gonna wear a hat, I'm wearing it backwards. And two, I feel like I'm lying to people by saying I'm a Dodgers fan. I'm not a Dodgers fan. Sorry. This is one of the few times I actually support the local team. I'm a Diamondbacks fan. Yeah, boy. But yeah, we're here to talk about Stay Out of the Basement. Number 2 in the Goosebumps line, and let us begin with the story. We're gonna find out whether this one is spookies or not. Margaret and Casey Brewer are playing frisbee outside. They invite their father, Dr. Brewer, to play with them, but he declines their invitation, as he has work to do in the basement. It's basement. It's spooky. Formerly, Dr. Brewer was a specialized botanist, but he was recently fired from his workplace. Now Dr. Brewer does experiments in his basement. When Margaret and Casey try to go down to the basement to see his works, their father, whose hand is bleeding, warned them not to enter. AKA, title drop! Stay out of the basement. Oh, just stay out of the basement, please. Why can't these kids listen to me? Just stay out of the basement. Sometime later, Mrs. Brewer is forced to travel to somewhere very scary. Tucson, Arizona. It's hot. It's so hot. Stay out of Tucson. It's so hot. Oh, why am I still wearing this? It's because it's cool, stylish, and iconic. That's why. Curly button. To visit her sister, Eleanor, who has been hospitalized. Dr. Brewer takes Mrs. Brewer to the airport, giving Margaret and Casey and their friend Diane an opportunity to go down into the basement and investigate Dr. Brewer's strange experiments. Upon entering, they find a wide variety of gigantic green plants, some of which seem to be bearing fruits. Due to the intense humidity of the basement, Casey takes off his shirt and sets it down. I feel you, man. The three kids begin to hear a breathing sound coming from several plants. The plants seem to be beckoning the kids with their tendrils. The kids decide they've seen enough and leave the basement at roughly the same time Dr. Brewer returns home. Suddenly, Casey remembers that he forgot his shirt and goes back to the basement to find it, only to hear the plants breathing and groans. Casey is grabbed at the waist by two long plant tendrils. Margaret comes down to help him and manages to free him, but while they are walking up the stairs of the basement, they find their father looking down at them. Busted! Wow. Is this going to be one of those new shows where I'm just going to be making really dumb jokes like that the whole time? Oh god, what are they called? It's those dumb radio host shows where they're like, what a boner, that kind of thing. What are those called? Who cares? I'll tell you what this is. Hey, this episode brought to you again by Monster. Notice how it's sweating? That's how I feel. It's a hot day in Tucson, Arizona, I'll tell you that much. Calmly, Dr. Brewer sits the children in the kitchen and tells them that one day he will explain everything that is happening. But until that day, they are forbidden from entering the basement. Later, Margaret discovers that her father has begun placing a lock on the basement door. On Saturday afternoon, Mrs. Brewer calls Margaret by telephone. She informs Margaret that she must stay in Tucson for a few more days because Eleanor's operation did not go as expected, and she is also a mega foodie. We have a lot of really good food here in Tucson. We're known for our food. Yeah. I lost my spot on my page. Yeah, because Eleanor's operation did not go as expected. Taking advantage of this moment, Margaret tells her mother about the strange plant experiments in the basement. Margaret informs Mrs. Brewer that Dr. Brewer is now wearing a cap all the time. Well, and he's a Dodgers fan! Run! Run, Margaret, run. I don't know baseball teams. I don't know the Dodgers or like the Raiders, kind of vicious people. Raiders fans can be a little vicious. I'll just say it. That's at least West Coast opinions. I can't give my impressions of the East Coast people. I hear they're just as bad. No judgments placed here. Sports fanatics can be kind of crazy from all runs of life. Why are we talking about this? Why aren't we talking about Stay Out of the Basement? Also, I dropped the book from tossing the hat. Good job, Rupel. After hanging up the phone, Margaret goes to the kitchen and watches her father eat something from a plastic bag. When he leaves, she discovers that he was eating plant food. Margaret tells Casey what happened, but he refuses to believe her. A few days later, the kids are playing frisbee again, and Dr. Brewer is outside with them. The kids accidentally hit Dr. Brewer on the head. This knocks off his hat, revealing green leaves growing on his head. Dr. Brewer sits down with his children again and explains that the leaves are only a side effect of his experiments. Dr. Brewer goes to the basement again quickly. That night, Margaret spies her father in the bathroom, watching as he removes the bandage from his hand, revealing bright green blood instead of red blood. She panics and runs back to her room. Eventually, she goes down to the kitchen to have a glass of water. Margaret finds Casey, who also couldn't sleep. Both kids listen again to the plant's noises in the basement. Before returning to her room, Margaret takes a small look at her father's room, discovering the moisture... Wait, this is not the correct timeline at all. Sorry, it's... Goosebumps Wiki! You better get your fix in here. This happened in the morning, not immediately after. But before returning to her room, Margaret takes a small look at her father's room, discovering moisture and worms in the bed. That's actually the next morning she discovers that there are bugs and stuff and dirt. Yeah, it's next morning, guys. Sorry. The next morning, Margaret tells Casey what happened. Immediately, Dr. Brewer appears and tells them that he has prepared lunch for them. Mashed green potatoes. He never says it's mashed green potatoes. They just say it looks like mashed green potatoes. Goosebumps Wiki, you're busting my balls here having to say these things. I feel bad because I'm just busting your balls all the time, Wiki. I'm sorry. Boo 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 boo. Them's your balls. This is me bashing them. I'm sorry. Gotta do it. I'm sorry, guys. I love you, but you're all terrible. I'm sorry. That's my terrible H. John Benjamin impression. He insists that they eat it. Fortunately, Mr. Martinez, Dr. Brewer's former boss, visits the house to discuss Dr. Brewer's experiments. While their father is distracted, the kids throw their meal in the trash and say they have already eaten. The next morning, Dr. Brewer leaves the house to help his neighbor to install a bathroom sink. What a nice guy! I would probably be like, nah, man, not at this time. I'm sorry. especially, not to ruin this, 30-year-old book, but he is kind of the plant clone at this point, and why he agreed to this, I don't know. I guess he's just Plant Brewer doesn't seem so bad upon, recollection, but we'll get to that when we do our monster profile of them. The kids decide that this is another opportunity to enter the basement. As soon as their father leaves, they remove the lock and enter. In the basement, they find Mr. Martinez's suit hidden near a table and realize that he never left the house after his visit yesterday. After a few minutes, the kids hear footsteps in the house and realize that their father has returned. So they flee from the basement through a small window that faces the backyard. However, they're discovered by Dr. Brewer. He tells them that Mr. Martinez took off his suit due to the basement's tropical climate and forgot it there. Before returning to his neighbor's house to continue with the sink, Dr. Brewer again warns Margaret and Casey not to go back down to the basement. What's wrong with these kids? Why can't they just stay out of the basement? Like, the title says it right there. Stay out of the basement. Why can't they just stay out of the basement? These kids are naughty, I tells you. I don't know what voice I'm doing. Is this a dad voice? This is Dr. Brewer here. Stay out of the basement, kids. I need you to stay out of my basement, please. I don't know why he talks like this now. The following morning, Mrs. Brewer returns from Tucson. So Dr. Brewer must leave the house to pick her up from the airport. Margaret and Diane go out for a bike ride. When they return, Casey tells them he wants to fly kites, but the kites are in the basement. The kids decide to return to the basement so they can look for the kites. Shockingly, they find the rest of Mr. Martinez's clothes, realizing that their father had lied to them. That's right, they had found his pants. But why'd he take off his pants? Like, why'd he do that? Why'd he take off his pants? Why did he take off his pants? Can we know why? Mr. Martinez, why'd he take your pants off? Why? I don't know about this one. The kids hear noises coming from a supply closet. When they open it, they find Dr. Brewer bound and gagged with plant tendrils. They untie him, and Dr. Brewer tells them that the one who went to the airport to pick up his mother is not him. Wow, that's just grammatically wrong. That's not Dr. Brewer's mom they're picking up there. Come on, guys. I'm busting your balls. I'm sorry, Goosebumps Wiki, but I gotta bust your balls again. Just double check that one there. Just a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I do this to you guys all the time. I love you. Yeah, it's not him. Instead, it is a hybrid plant clone created during his experiments. Dr. Brewer grabs an axe and waits for his clone to return. Not really what happens, but that's good enough, I guess. It's good enough explanation, I guess, because it's kind of a weird chapter, I'm not gonna lie. Dr. Brewer's clone appears on the basement stairs. He tries to trick the kids into believing that their real father is the clone. However, when Margaret hears her father call her princess, which the clone never did, she gets an idea. Grabbing a knife, she makes a small cut to her father's hand, revealing red blood. The real Dr. Brewer uses the axe and cuts his clone in half, revealing bright green blood and a stem-like interior. The kids hear more noises in the supply closet. Inside, they find Mr. Martinez gagged, so they release him. That's not what happens at all. They see Mr. Martinez, they just never release him. Okay, guys? Yeah, Mr. Martinez pantless in the back. Just leave him there. Kids, leave the pantless man alone, okay? We don't need this pantsless man out here, okay? Leave Mr. Martinez and his chonies in the closet, okay? I'm sorry, Mr. Martinez. My half-brother's last name is Martinez, so it just makes me laugh a little bit harder, because I'm just thinking of him in there. 1 week since they looked at me. 1 week later, Dr. Brewer burns all the mutant plants in the yard. Did he burn them all? I thought he just destroyed. I guess burning is the best way to destroy a plant. Planting a few into the garden. 1 week later, Dr. Brewer burns all the mutant plants in the yard, planting a few into the garden. He tells Margaret and Casey that he will stop doing experiments permanently. The kids are walking back inside when a small flower on the ground brushes against Margaret's ankle. When she bends down to look at it, the flower whispers to her, "Margaret, help me. I'm your real father." Beep, 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 beep. Bun-a-bum. Alrighty. So, what's scary about this story? Well, I'll tell you. Me insulting these poor Goosebumps Wiki people who do this for free. That's pretty scary, because I need to stop doing that. I just know if I don't say the correct thing, someone in the comments is going to be like, "That's not what happened," which is fair, because that's not what happened. This is what happened. What happened? Why am I saying, why do you keep doing voices? It's probably the Monster Energy drink. It's also very hot. And this is very delicious. Monster, sponsor. I need an energy drink to sponsor me, please. I don't care which one. Bang, bang! And I'm just saying, I like a bang. But no, what's scary? So starting off in this book, we have a distant father. From the start, we learn about how Dr. Brewer hasn't been spending as much time with his kids. He's distant and doesn't even refer to Margaret as her nickname, Fatso and Princess, which Fatso is a terrible nickname. I'm just gonna say it when it's gonna leave some mental scars. I'm just saying, guys, just stop it. Don't do that. At the end of the first chapter, he's even screaming at them to stay out of the basement, even though he's normally so mild and soft-spoken. This is one of those real-world fears that are all snuck into these early Goosebumps books. Like, why lie? When a loving father becomes distant and cold to his entire family, it's only a matter of time before everyone thinks he doesn't love them anymore. And this is just a sad reality that RL drops on us. I feel like it's kind of like a lot of these early Goosebumps books have that kind of reality-based fear that can be interpreted as you may, so. And I like a good reality fear, kids, you get real scared from simple things. You get scared of what's hiding under your bed, but you know what else is scary? Divorce. I don't know why I keep doing a voice there, I don't know why. I don't have an accent. That tree, it's breathing. There's just something about a tree breathing that leaves me feeling unsettled. In the middle of the 4th chapter, one of the trees even appears to beckon at the kids to stay down there. This is some Feyland shit here. I'm just gonna say that. That's some Fey shit. Don't go trusting these plants, okay, kids? Kids, stay out of the basement. These Fey plants are gonna get ya. Then later on in the book, Dr. Brewer admits he's trying to make a part plant, part animal monstrosity. And that's just wrong, man. Dr. Brewer, my man, you're playing God here. Like so many before you. Just stop. Like, did you not learn from Dr. Moreau, Jekyll, or Frankenstein, and every other mad scientist before you? Don't go experimenting. I mean, see what happened? Stay out of the basement. Just stay out of the basement. I left it in the basement? The sudden realization that Casey messed up by leaving his shirt downstairs. Now that's an amazing chapter ending stinger right there. Like, I'm not a huge fan of chapter stingers, but when they actually have a legit good moment like this, they add to that tension. Like, why lie? When it's like a fake out, like I think the chapter right before this one had a really terrible chapter stinger where he's like fake feeling electrocuted and stuff. And I don't like that chapter stinger. That one was terrible. It's a choke one. I don't like those ones. But when it's an actual one like this, good stuff. I'm just saying, good stuff. But yeah. Oh, and then this one ending with parental disappointment, with the dad saying, "I'm disappointed in you guys." Ooh, ow. My heart, it's broken. Yeah, there we go. That's not blood. Later on, when Margaret wants to confront her father, she finds him in the bathroom and he's messing with his cut hand. But it's not bleeding blood, but bright green ooze. When Dr. Brewer almost busts Margaret spying on him, she rushes back to her room and admits that she's terrified of her own father. And this realization that she is terrified of her own dad, that's not good. No child should ever feel scared of their own parent. And it kind of adds on to that reality-based fear, of like, why are you so afraid of your father? That's kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. These this one kind of hits at some really good reality-based fears. Like, especially with parental abuse. Like, it's not said that he abuses them, but like when he starts yelling at them, like that's something they're not used to, and it's not good. You shouldn't yell at your kids. I'm just saying, don't yell at your kids, or else they turn out like me. Too much reality-based fear. Where's my Dodgers cap at? I need to go back to the Dodgers stadium. Oh no, I'm an Angels fan, not a Dodgers fan. Angels in the outfield, save me. I'm Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I need help. I haven't watched that movie in years. It's so good. Is that a good movie? I haven't watched it in years. Why am I still doing a voice? Am I doing a voice? I'm doing a voice here. I don't know why I'm doing a voice. Hey, don't do a voice, Chris. You're not a voice actor. You wish you're a voice actor, but you're no voice actor. Get out of here. My dad's a plant? Why did I name it that? Oh god, I love that joke so much. I'm separating a distant father from the plant dad stuff because they're two different things here. Alright? Starting at the end of chapter 7, Margaret sees her father devouring something over the sink. She spies on him until he finishes and finds out that he's eating plant food, which is pretty nasty, Dr. Brewer. I'm just gonna say, that's got duty in it, I think. I don't know. I've got a brown thumb, so I can't tell you what's in plant food. But I can tell you, it makes plants grow. I wish I didn't have a brown thumb so bad. I kill plants so bad. I got that from my mother. But the strange activities don't end there. Later on, Margaret tries to speak with her father one morning and finds he's not in bed, but in the bed, inside the bed, it is dirt and insects and long brown worms. Ew. Yeah. And that same day, he then tries to make them eat a mysterious food that looks like green mashed potatoes and screams at them to eat it. Just eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Shut your fucking mouth and eat it. I don't know the words to eat it. I'm sorry. Then when we get to the climax of the book where we discover that Plant Brewer has not only kidnapped their father, but also Mr. Martinez, and Lord knows what he planned to do with both of them. Like, man, Plant Brewer is, he's kind of like half evil, half kind of good. Because, I mean, hey, he wanted to feed the kids, but, you know, they show him disrespect. He's got to yell at them because he's like, hey, why aren't you eating my food? You know, I made you this delicious green mush. Eat the green mush. Just eat the pennies. Just eat the green mush, please. Please, kids. Kids! Eat the green mush. Don't eat the mush. What secrets reside in the basement? Chapter 18 has to be one of the best chapters. Just period. It's the chapter of the book, I think. You know, it's funny. Like, the later chapters always have one chapter that just, like, reveals something so good and so creepy that I've got to pull the book out from under the covers and read the page. Going to page 102. The tall, leafy plant appeared to have a green, human arm descending from its stalk. Margaret's eyes darted around the closet to her horror. She realized that several plants seemed to have human features, green arms, a yellow hand with 3 fingers poking from it, 2 stumpy legs where the stem should be. She and her brother both cried out when they saw the plant with the face. Inside a cluster of broad leaves, there appeared to grow a round green tomato, but the tomato had a human-shaped nose and an open mouth, from which it repeatedly uttered the most mournful sighs and groans. Another plant, a short plant, with clusters of broad oval leaves, had 2 green, nearly human faces partly hidden by the leaves, both wailing through open mouths. Ugh, don't like them. No, sir, don't like that. Don't like that. The plants moaned and sighed. Green fingerless hands reached out to Margaret and Casey. A yellow, sick-looking plant near the wall made choking sounds. A tall, flowering plant staggered toward them, thin, tendril-like arms outstretched. That's good. That's the money shot right there. Like, bam! That's the money. You know, I think that's the new segment of the show is, what's the money shot of this book, of every Goosebumps book that, like, makes it truly terrifying? Bam! That one right there. Ooh, I even got goosebumps. I am burning up and I got goosebumps from that one. Bravo, Mr. Stein. Like, I don't know what it is. I really don't like... It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like Uncanny Valley, but not Uncanny Valley. I don't know what the exact words for it are, but man, that shit creepy. I'm just gonna say that. So, what takes away from the scares for this book? I only have one thing that kind of took it away from me, And it's not even a really big one, honestly. It's a little scene partway through the book. I think halfway through the book. And I've titled this part, "Hey Dad, catch!" I don't know why, but the part when Casey knocks Dr. Brewer's hat off, revealing his plant hair, is just humorous to me. Like, I know RL didn't describe it as him being whacked in the head, but like, this is what it's described as. It's like glances off his head and takes his hat. So it's like, it's literally like this here. It's like, I'm Dr. Brewer, I'm minding my own business. I'm just, hey Dad, catch! Huh? Boom! And just that. That's what it is. It's like, but for some dumb reason, I think of it like a Three Stooges routine where he's just like, whoop, oh, I fell over it. Oh, look at my hair. It's leaves. Like, I just think of that. I don't know why. It's not described like that, but that's what goes through my mind, and it just makes me laugh. Makes me chuckle. It doesn't take me out of the book, but it's like, it's just supposed to be a serious reveal, and it didn't work for me, unfortunately. I just think it's just a little silly for my taste. Still like it, though. I was about to say, not a bad one. Continuing forward, time for the kill count. Boom, boom, boom. We only have one true confirmed death. Rest in peace, the plant clone of Dr. Brewer. That's our only true kill in this book. I mean, we can count the rest of the plants Dr. Brewer made, but they're kind of soulless abominations, so do they really count? I kid. They count. We'll say at least 10 plants were killed in this book. So yeah. I think the main kill count here is just the number 1 for the plant clone of Dr. Brewer, who is visually chopped straight down the middle, revealing a stem-like body. Killed with an axe. Who doesn't love a good axe kill? I'm just saying. Love an axe kill. Love it. And in this one, I'm revealing another new topic for this episode. Random 90s pop culture count. 90s count. Oh, yeah. Alright, at the top, we have Nintendo. Casey misses playing Nintendo with his dad. I don't blame you, Casey. I too liked playing Nintendo with my dad. Number 2, RoboCop. Nothing more 90s than RoboCop. Partnering up with kids and having a good time. Number 3, Arnold Schwarzenegger. They don't say which movie they watched, but they say they watched an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I'm gonna say they watched Total Recall. No, they didn't watch Total Recall. No. I think, what movie? I think they probably were watching Running Man. I feel like RL would be like, Running Man's cool. I'll put in Running Man. That one's a cool book. I like that one. And then, last but not least, Sassy Magazine, a 80s to 90s publication that a lot of people may not know about. In later editions, it was changed to 17, but sassy is how we play. They also reference People magazine, but that's been around since the 70s. Not good enough for me. Nope. Late 80s, early 90s references for this one. And that was your random 90s pop culture count. So, the final results. I think this may be the scariest of the Goosebumps books I've read so far. Granted, I've only read 2 for this series, so that's not saying much. I'm saying for the series. I've read a good chunk of the Goosebumps books. But this one is probably the scariest one so far for the series. The body plant horror in this one helps it, as it brings out this primal fear of the unknown. Along with that, we have the realistic fear of a close father becoming distant, as stress of life is coming down upon him. We also have some well set up scenes that bring the scares, like when Casey and Margaret go back into the basement to retrieve the missing shirt, and Margaret finding her father in the bathroom, bleeding green liquid. The one part that I find silly doesn't really take away from the scares too much for me, and I don't find the characters too obnoxious in this one, which helps its score. That's a biggie. I think Casey and Margaret are really great characters. Also, I think I was a little mean to Josh from Welcome to Dead House. Not as bad as I thought. He's really not. I think I was just being mean to Josh. He's not that bad. These kids aren't too bad either. Overall, I give this one the first pure terror. I don't think it's a strong candidate for being the scariest of the Goosebumps books, but I think it's a pretty darn scary book. Like, it really works for itself. Like, I don't know. I think this one ages really well, because, like, upon rereading it, like, I've read this one maybe 2 times before, maybe 3 times, and, like, I feel like each time I read it, I enjoy it a little bit more. I don't know why. It's one of those ones that, like, each reread is just nice. It's nice. Alright, before we wrap things up, let's talk about these covers. Cover time. So, the 1992 OG. The green plant-like hand grasps a slightly open door from the inside. This one is a pretty good scary cover here. It lets your mind explore what might be attached to this green hand. I'm giving this one a pretty spooky. The 1993 UK cover. An overly happy face surrounded by leaves stares to the right of the onlooking reader, with a look of, "You're not going to grab that axe now, are you?" This face on this one makes me laugh way too hard. Like, this cover's kind of silly, honestly. This one earns a Sleeping Easy Tonight. The 1994 Nederlands cover. A boy in a red sweater is being choked by a hanging vine, but he doesn't look too freaked out by it. In the foreground is a girl with one hand up, waiting for her brother to give her a high five as he's being choked. I'm sleeping easy tonight with this cover as well. Not too spooky. The 1996 French cover. An androgynous child in a yellow shirt is being grasped and choked by sentient vines. A look of terror encompasses their face. This one's not too bad. I'm going to give it a kind of creepy. The 2003 Jacobus reprint cover. A plant dad scientist is in his lab staring down at an orange liquid in a flask in confusion. I think the design of Plant Brewer here is a bit too over-exaggerated. Like, honestly, like, Homeboy literally has the top of a tree growing out of his head. This one's not too scary. It's not too scary. The 2007 Netherlands cover. A boy in a yellow shirt is being attacked by sentient plants with weird red bulbs. His sister is at the top of the stairs staring down in shock of the situation. Of all the plants attacking a kid covers, this one may be the best of the bunch. Pretty spooky. The 2007 Japanese cover. A plant person resides inside an artificial life chamber. In the foreground is a plant producing fruits with haunting faces on them. This is a scary cover. This is a freaking spooky-ass cover. Pure terror. It's a good one. The 2011 reprint. This is like the OG cover, but with more vines and thorns. It's kind of like a cross between the 2003 reprint and the 1992 original. They kind of had like a plant baby and formed this. But unfortunately, I feel like the subtlety of the original has been kind of killed. But I still like this one. Your imagination can still run wild with what is in the basement. Even with the criticisms I've given it, it's still kind of creepy. The 2016 Korean cover. Dr. Venture from the Venture Brothers stares angrily at the reader holding this book because he's pissed that the hair formula he's been trying has given him plant hair. I really like this one, honestly. And I'm just busting its balls. I really like the use of shadows in this one, giving the dad's face a haunting look to it. This one's a pretty spooky cover. As much as I picked on it, I like this cover, honestly. Alright, that's the end of this episode. Hey, as always, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you would rate this one from the Scarometer or Bumpometer, whatever. I don't remember what I called it. I'm terrible. Scarometer. If you think this one's not scary at all, leave a comment. Maybe you think this one's pure terror like I do. Leave a comment down below. Next book up is going to be Monster Blood, but before that, we're going to be doing a monster profile on Dr. Brewer, looking at the crimes and atrocities of this monster, and maybe some inspirations that R.L. may have taken from to create this guy. Hey, thanks for joining me this week, and keep on. I don't know. How do I Stay spooky, that's what I say. I forgot my own tagline at the end. Stay spooky.
It's up and down there. It's up and down there. It's up and down there. It's up and down there.